What if a tiny 1-cent coin sitting in an old collection, a forgotten jar, or even an inherited box could be hiding a value that completely changes the way you look at pocket change? Today, Coin Master USA is starting with a coin that has collectors asking serious questions: the 1945 Wheat Penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it may look old, dark, worn, and damaged. Nothing spectacular, right? But here is where this story gets interesting. Some rare coins can become extremely valuable because of a combination of date, mint mark, condition, rarity, provenance, and unusual errors or varieties. And when a coin is claimed to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, the most important question isn't simply, does it look old? The real question is, what exactly makes this coin special? A $300,000 figure is sometimes claimed for extraordinary examples or unusual specimens, but you should never assume that every 1945 wheat penny is worth anything close to that amount. The exact coin must be authenticated and professionally evaluated. So stay with me, because in this video we're going to examine the clues that could separate an ordinary 1945 wheat penny from a truly exceptional collectible. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for before you ever dismiss one of these coins as just a penny. Welcome back to Coin Master USA, where we explore fascinating American coins, hidden varieties, collector discoveries, and the stories behind some of the most interesting pieces of U.S. numismatic history. And today, we're beginning our countdown with coin number 1, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny, no mint mark. This is the kind of coin that can create confusion because the words 1945, no mint mark, and old condition can sound incredibly exciting to a new collector. But experienced collectors know something very important. A coin's age alone does not make it rare. The United States produced enormous numbers of Lincoln wheat cents during the 1940s, including 1945 cents. So if you find a 1945 wheat penny, don't immediately believe that you have a $300,000 treasure. Instead, slow down. Look closely. Examine the details. And most importantly, understand what you're actually holding, because that's where the real treasure hunt begins. Let's start with the basics. The coin we're discussing is a 1945 Lincoln wheat cent. On the front, you'll see the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, along with the inscriptions associated with the Lincoln cent. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the classic wheat reverse, 2 wheat ears surrounding the denomination and inscriptions. This design is one of the most recognizable designs in American coin collecting. And there is another important detail here: the mint mark. If a 1945 Lincoln cent has no mint mark beneath the date, that generally indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That detail is interesting, but here's the important part. A missing mint mark on a Philadelphia coin is not automatically an error. That's because Philadelphia coins traditionally did not receive a mint mark during this period. So if you find a 1945 penny with no mint mark, don't assume the absence itself makes the coin extremely rare. Instead, we need to investigate the entire coin. Now let's talk about condition. You described this coin as being old, darker, brownish, and showing signs of damage or heavy wear. That immediately tells us something important. Collectors don't judge a coin only by its age. They examine the grade and preservation. A heavily worn coin can have much less collector value than a sharply preserved example. Look at Lincoln's hair. Look around his cheek and jaw. Examine the date. Check the lettering. Then move to the reverse. Look at the wheat stalks. Look at the lettering. Look for unusual doubling, missing details, abnormal surfaces, cracks, die characteristics, or other features that could potentially distinguish the coin. And here's something I want every viewer to remember. Damage is not the same thing as rarity. A dark color doesn't automatically mean the penny is rare. A scratch doesn't automatically make it valuable. A bent coin doesn't automatically make it an error. And corrosion or environmental damage can actually reduce collector value. That's why professional authentication becomes extremely important when someone claims a coin is worth an extraordinary amount. Now we come to the number that grabs everyone's attention: $300,000. That's an enormous amount of money for a 1-cent coin. But let's be very clear. You should treat a $300,000 valuation as a claim requiring proof, Not as the standard value of a normal 1945 wheat penny. Because real numismatic value depends on evidence. What is the exact variety? What is the grade? Is there a genuine mint error? Is the coin authenticated? Has it been professionally graded? Does it have documented auction history? Is the price based on a verified sale, an asking price, an estimate, or simply an internet claim? These questions matter. A coin listed online for hundreds of thousands of dollars does not necessarily mean someone actually paid that amount for it. That's a crucial lesson for every collector. The market value of a rare coin is ultimately much more meaningful when supported by credible auction records, professional grading, and established numismatic sources. So if someone tells you, this 1945 penny is worth $300,000, don't just believe them. And then look for the evidence. Now imagine you're sitting at home. You open an old coin box. Inside are dozens of wheat pennies. Most look ordinary. But then you find a 1945 penny. No mint mark. Dark surface. Heavy wear. You turn it over. You look at the wheat reverse. And suddenly you start wondering, could this be the one? This is exactly why coin collecting is so exciting. The possibility of discovery keeps collectors searching. But the smartest collectors don't get carried away by the headline. They investigate. They compare. They photograph the coin. They check reputable references. And when the coin appears genuinely unusual, they seek professional authentication. If you believe you have an extraordinary specimen, don't clean it. That's extremely important. Never aggressively clean or polish an old collectible coin just because you want it to look shiny. Cleaning can damage the original surface and potentially reduce collector appeal. Instead, preserve the coin as you found it and have it evaluated properly. So what should you examine on a 1945 wheat penny? Start with the date. Make sure the 1945